Hello pals, another art journaling video for you today. And today we're doing Senara and Nami. And I gotta admit, this spread that I did is in my top 10, top 5 favorite spreads that I've ever done. So look forward to it. Not to say I went off, but I think I went off. And here are your portraits that I dropped. That's Nami, and this is Senara. And they are obviously both water themed, but the fun part about this is they're also dating. They started dating June 10th, I believe, something like that. And so this is not only just individual spreads of introducing their NPCs, but also a couple spread. So I don't know who we start with, but I love this paper. I thought this paper looked like water. So I was like, this is perfect. It looks like water, you know? So I was super excited about it. A lot of the journaling supplies I have gathered over the years, I have a very junk journal style of journaling. Like this paper was probably wrapping paper from a present or something that I kept. So a lot of my stuff is reused. Not all of it, of course, but a lot of it is. That's why I can't say it's true junk journaling, although I feel like you can call your journaling whatever you want, because I think junk journaling is also a style, not just the fact that you keep crap, you know. But let's not get into that right now. Let's not start that debate. I'm also drawing little waves because I thought it'd be really cool after having all of this, you know, very sparkly paper. I thought it'd be really cool to have matte on there to kind of contrast. So I drew some waves just out of blue construction paper, and I drew one too many. So I'm struggling cutting these out for no reason, but you know, 'tis life. So I drew some waves, and I'm going to add them later. And I think they ended up looking pretty cool. But yeah, we have two characters today. Nami, who is... Wait, no, do I do Nami first or do I do Senara first? I don't remember. We're going to start with Nami. Nami is a Triton, and she was born on March 17th. And she is the other part of the trio of Cressida, Ryu, and Nami. They're all besties. And they have been besties for a while, I think. So that's why Nami came after Cressida and Ryu. And she's a lot more soft spoken. She's the like chill, she's the sane one of those three. She's very chill. She's got a very soft spoken voice. She's very kind and curious. She's shy, but her friends are really trying to help her break out of that. She has her moments, but yeah, they're basically trying to corrupt her to be crazy. But I don't think it's working very well. She is from the Queendom of Melani, which is an underwater kingdom. There are three main underwater kingdoms in my world, and she is part of that queendom. She's actually a relative of the royal family, which is kind of crazy. And she likes music. She has a, I think it's on her frame. I don't know if I cut it out, but she has a seashell, yeah, up the top. She has a seashell shaped lyre. Ooh, say that 5 times fast. Seashell shaped, seashell shaped. And then you see that M on the bottom. That is the queendom symbol. And she likes underwater dancing, underwater ribbon dancing, and she plays lots of instruments. And she's just overall relatively chill. And then the one at the top left, that's Senara. She is a mermaid. She is a pink mermaid, so you saw me earlier drawing on that pink paper. I was cutting out a mermaid tail. And she lives at the aquarium, the local aquarium, and she puts on shows, you know, like little mermaid performances where she dances to music and dances with the animals and talks to the kids, that kind of thing. She was actually found abandoned in the ocean when she was a baby. They found her and brought her back to Lustile, where she was raised and offered a home. She was rescued from a fishing net, I think, specifically. She doesn't remember much of the ocean because she was so small when she left. So that's kind of a dream of hers, is to one day go back and explore the ocean, and Nami has promised her that when they can make that happen, she will take her and give her like a tour of all the underwater cities and things like that. So that is something Senara looks forward to. Senara is also, I think, a more soft-spoken person. She's terrible at baking. She's so bad at baking, Daisy refuses to bake with her because Daisy is a really great baker and she thinks Senara is unteachable. Thankfully, Illume does not think so and tries and helps her learn how to bake. And she loves building model kits and she loves her job at the aquarium. She loves making children happy. So she's also just a very sweet person, a very nice and caring person. She's also very chill. She doesn't have too much going on in her life compared to a lot of characters that have, I feel like, a lot. Like they either have really sad backstories or they have something really sad happening to them current day. Senara is just very chill. I guess it's because she doesn't have a lot of backstory ties because she was abandoned as a kid, so her backstory stuff is really empty, and her real connections are the ones she has currently. But yeah, her and Nami are dating now. I think Nami. No. Senara was the one that asked Nami out. And Nami was very surprised, but she decided to give it a try. And they're doing pretty great right now. Currently, Nami's sister has come to town to try and bring Nami back home because Lustile is going through a lot. Lustile has been attacked multiple times. This is the capital where everybody lives. Lustile has been attacked multiple times, and there are actually a lot of big siblings. Well, Nami's sister is her younger sibling, but there are a lot of siblings coming into the city to see their siblings being like, yo, you gotta come home. This ain't it. This ain't it. But Nami obviously doesn't want to come home. She left home for a reason. Her younger sister's name is Narina, and she looks a lot like Nami, just more youthful, and her long red hair is like in a ponytail. So they complement each other, but they also look quite different. And yeah, she's like, you gotta come home. Mom and dad said this ain't it. You gotta come home. I think that's Nami's current problem is her being like, no, make me. You can't make me. So that is what's happening between these two. But they're pretty happy together. And I've reached the point in my journal where, because it's so thick, a lot of things will not glue down simply with regular glue. So you won't see it because the cord is so short, but I do bust out the hot glue gun. There's a lot of this that I do have to hot glue down. And you'll probably see me have to hot glue down a lot of things from now on, which really kind of stinks because it's going to make my journal thicker. I'm going to try not to use, oh, you can't see it. I'm going to try not to use a lot of hot glue, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I can't have these parts sticking out. Unfortunately, it causes like those little glue strings to get everywhere. How do we get rid of those glue strings? Like, what's the solution? Because I know you're supposed to like wrap it around it. Well, that doesn't always work. So how do I get all these glue strings to not string everywhere? And then I use these white beads as kind of like pearls, which is, I don't know, I thought that was pretty genius of me. I put them in the shell to like pearls, and I put them on the tail to give some kind of pop to the tail so it wasn't so plain, which I really enjoyed. And I put a bunch of sea creature stickers. I've had these sea creature stickers for like 6 months, and I finally got to use them. So I'm so happy about it because I was waiting for these two to use it. But here's the finished product, y'all. I think it looks great. I love how sparkly it is, and I love that big pink tail that contrasts the rest of the blue going on and the pink of Senara's name tag. I don't know. I think it came out really great. But let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.